empty, vast, beautiful, paradise. All these words can describe Virmire, but for some reason, when I'm on this planet, only one word comes to mind: uncanny. Why do I feel this way? Could it be due to the never-ending look the ocean gives off? Or maybe it's due to the fact that I know what's to come on this planet. Nah, that can't be it. I felt this odd feeling when I was a kid exploring this planet for the first time, so why do I feel this way now? Some of you may have guessed it: liminal spaces. Most of you are more likely aware of liminal spaces, but for those who are not, a liminal space can be many things, but most importantly, it's a transition area between two places or states, such as between the past and future, or one destination to another. For instance, the hallway between your front door and bedroom. Why am I bringing this up? Well, Virmire is one of the few places where we cannot explore the whole world. Limited, you could say. And there are a lot of sections we do get to look at that acts as sort of a hallway, driving in to make go towards our next destination, then the next, then the next, so on and so forth. Not really taking in the environment around us, but fighting the enemy. Usually when someone is looking at the video or pictures of liminal spaces, they get this odd feeling or nostalgia, despite the fact they've never been there. Here are two pictures. I want you to tell me if any of these pictures feel familiar at all. Alright, made your answer? Let's move on to the next question. Why do people feel this sense of nostalgia, or even existential dread? In order to answer this question, we're going to have to look at man's greatest tool, the brain. More importantly, the amygdala. The amygdala is an almond small shaped structure and is located in the half hemisphere of the brain. It's included in the limbic system, and the amygdala regulates emotion and memory, and are associated with the brain's reward system: stress relief, fight or flight response when somebody perceives a threat. Liminal Space's whole concept is to play with this part of the brain, having something that looks or feels like a place you've been to a million times, never really thinking about it due to many reasons. Because that place is a transition period, or a transition to another event or structure. For instance, a road leading to the destination, where you're so fixated on the time, like going on the bus, like you have to go to school on the bus. That's another instance of that. Why wouldn't you be so fixated on your destination? It could have been really important to you. Well, why do people feel dread? Well, maybe when you're in this road or hallway, or waiting in this doctor's office, something bad happened to you. The unknown anxiety of what could happen next is what your brain associates with this image or images. And the feelings of nostalgia comes from recalling a memory that was once good that you look fondly on. And liminal spaces remind you of that. For Virmire, I experienced both dread and nostalgia when looking back on this planet. Mass Effect is and will always be one of my favorite games of all time, and the memory of first landing on Virmire after going to 3 depressing planets, and then you land on Virmire and you see that it's a tropical paradise. I mean, come on, look at this. This looks like the perfect beach resort planet. Let's summon out like Mario Sunshine. This was a complete breath of fresh air to me. After my first playthrough and on future playthroughs, I experienced somewhat level of dread, knowing that I could potentially lose one of my crewmate, or even two if I don't play things right. For the majority of the mission, you're driving to point A to point B, only thinking about what's to come and how you can have or can prevent this bad outcome. But let's throw this out the window. Let's look at the planet itself without the main story, without any of the nostalgia views, and let's try to look at it through somebody who first lands on its perspective over again. One of my many thoughts I have on landing on Virmire is, why isn't this planet a civilization? It has water, it has animal life, it has plant life. This looks like one of the most perfect places to colonize, but why did nobody do that? This question is the reason why Virmire is so uncanny. If you do a little digging, you do determine why Virmire was never settled.
There is a lush world located on the frontier of the Attican Traverse. Its vast seas and orbital position on the inner life zone have created a wide equatorial band of humid, tropical terrain. Only the political instability of the region has impeded efforts at colonization. Many times the Citadel has opened negotiations to settle Virmire with various criminal gangs and petty dictatorships in the nearby Terminus systems. All fell apart due to internal power shifts within the opposing parties. The Citadel has written off the colonization of Virmire as impossible without significant political change. The Terminus powers themselves are unlikely to ever settle Virmire. Most lack the resources to support settlement of a virgin world, finding it more expedient to steal from their neighbors than build for themselves.
For some reason, knowing this answer about the criminals makes me feel worse about Virmire. Like, the planet has to be monitored to some extent in order to prevent colonization, right? Um, will the criminals be back? Are they on the world itself? What happens if they find you on their planet? What are they going to do to you? Are they watching you if you're on their planet? How are they tracking it? Being on Virmire now feels like being in an employees only section at a store. You know, you're not supposed to be there, but damn, you are curious to know if you were right, if they had the milk in the back. Just like my dad when he left. When I look at the planet, when I look at the planet, that's all I think about now. I know this is where I'm supposed to go, but damn, does it feel like something bad can happen at any given moment, and it definitely does. Alright, now that we talked a lot about Virmire and the concept of liminal spaces and the feelings that you have on this, why does Virmire feel so uncanny? Well, my friends, I gave you all the building blocks there is to come up with your own conclusion on it, and human emotion is quite complicated. How people feel about certain things can range drastically from person to person due to all this being special in our own little way. Thank you guys once again for answering another question with me. Why does Vermeer feel so uncanny? Till next time, this is K-norr, and I'm signing off. Bye.